I'm 92 years old. And I need to tell you something before I run out of tomorrows. Most people waste their entire lives on one thing. One invisible trap. And they don't even know it until the clock is almost silent. You think you have time. You think you'll start later. I thought the same. And that's how decades disappear. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a calendar and felt nervous? Not busy. Not stressed. Nervous. Because the pages are flipping faster now. When you're young, time feels like an ocean. At my age, it feels like a melting ice cube in your hand. You don't notice it shrinking until your fingers are wet and it's almost gone. Most people are not afraid of dying. They're afraid of realizing they never truly lived. They wake up at 70, 80, 90 and whisper, "Where did it go?" The years are like a sunset. Beautiful, yes. But once the sun dips below the horizon, you don't get to rewind it. You don't get to argue with it. You just watch it disappear. I wasted years chasing things that never loved me back. Status. Approval. Comfort. I thought success would make me feel alive. I thought staying safe would protect me. Instead, it slowly buried me. Have you ever gotten on the wrong bus and realized it too late? You look out the window and nothing looks familiar. But instead of getting off, you stay seated because it's uncomfortable to admit you made a mistake. That's what most lives look like. The wrong bus, wrong job, wrong habits, wrong fears. And we stay seated because it's easier than standing up. When I was 45, I had a stable job. Good salary. Respectable title. People envied me. But every morning felt heavy. Like I was putting on someone else's coat. It fit. But it wasn't mine. I told myself, just 10 more years. 10 turned into 20. 20 turned into retirement. And suddenly I was 70, staring at a gold watch that meant nothing. Comfort is dangerous. It's a soft prison. The walls are padded, so you don't feel the damage immediately. But comfort steals your edge. It steals your curiosity. It convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. And tomorrow is the biggest lie we believe. I stayed in routines that made me smaller. I avoided risks because I didn't want to look foolish. I postponed dreams because I didn't want to fail. And in trying to avoid failure, I failed anyway. Not loudly. Quietly. Slowly. Year after year. Here's the mistake most people make. They live for approval instead of purpose. They try to impress people who won't even remember them. They collect money they're too tired to enjoy. They protect an ego that is terrified of looking weak. Ego is a clever thief. It tells you, don't start now. You're too old. It whispers, what will people think? It convinces you that your image matters more than your growth. And one day you realize your ego kept you small. Let me tell you something about age. Energy fades. That's true. My knees don't negotiate anymore. But wisdom? Wisdom compounds. At 92, I see patterns clearly. I see how fear dressed itself up as responsibility. I see how excuses sounded like logic. I see how I confused being busy with being alive. A machine that doesn't move begins to rust. That's not just about metal. That's about people. When you stop challenging yourself, you begin to decay. Not physically at first. Spiritually. Mentally. You shrink. You settle. You tell yourself the dragon is too big to fight. But the dragon is mostly smoke. It grows because you feed it fear. Retirement is not the end. It can be a second lifetime. But only if you refuse to sit down and wait. I've seen people at 75 start businesses. I've seen widows learn piano at 80. I've seen men in their late 60s fall in love with life again after decades of numb routine. The problem isn't age. The problem is postponement. You say you'll write the book when things calm down. You'll travel when you have more money. You'll fix the relationship when you have more time. But life doesn't calm down. Money is never enough. Time never feels abundant. You have to decide. Not when it's convenient. When it's uncomfortable. Here's my advice, and I'm not whispering it. I'm saying it clearly. Start today. Not tomorrow. Today. Call the person you've been avoiding. Start the project you keep researching but never beginning. Walk into the gym even if you feel embarrassed. Sign up for the class even if you're the oldest one there. You don't need perfect conditions. You need movement. Ask yourself one brutal question. If nothing changes in the next 5 years, will you be proud or disappointed? Be honest. Don't protect your feelings. Protect your future. Purpose is not something you find lying on the floor. You build it. Brick by brick. Habit by habit. Courage by courage. And yes, it's scary. But so is regret. And regret lasts longer. I have friends who are gone now. Some were healthier than me. Some were richer. But the ones who died peacefully had one thing in common. They tried. They took the trip. They forgave. They risked looking foolish. They didn't wait for permission. Let me give you 3 lines I want you to remember. Comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. Ego is loud. Regret is louder. And the most dangerous sentence in the world is, I'll do it later. Have you made the same mistake I did? Have you stayed on the wrong bus because getting off felt awkward? Have you confused stability with fulfillment? Listen carefully. You are not done. If you are watching this, you still have breath. And as long as you have breath, you have choice. Maybe not unlimited time, but enough time. Enough time to change direction. Enough time to repair a relationship. Enough time to become braver than you were yesterday. Don't die before you're dead. I've seen people stop living at 50 and get buried at 85. Don't let that be you. Life is not behind you. Not yet. Not if you decide otherwise. One day, you will be where I am. Looking back. The only question that will matter is this. Did you play it safe? Or did you play it real? Make your move today. Not because you're young. Not because you're old. But because you're alive. And that is more than enough.